That's a rapid transition. We'll get this sorted uh, now, soon, folks. I'm Grant. I'm a bird nerd. This is Habitat Gardening, where we do a bit of gardening talkback, question and answer on a Saturday morning here in the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri people. Uh, that happens to be Melbourne, Australia. Uh, Good morning, Stan. I wasn't sure if anyone would be popping in. The Facebook stream totally crashed, and I can't re-add it for some reason. So, unfortunately, the people who would have been on joining us on Facebook will have to find their way over to YouTube. Uh, what's happening in Kangaroo Island, Stan? What's going on? Let me get the glasses on so I can read the comments. Rainy, rainy. Uh, well, I'm kind of glad you've got some rain. How much are you having? Are you having the wild, windy wind? Hmm. Good morning to those of you on Twitch as well as YouTube as today too. Um, I had wanted to move everything away from Facebook, and I think Facebook's making it easier and easier to make that decision. I actually spent a couple of hours on Facebook yesterday. Oh my God, so much AI rubbish, just slop, fake videos. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But folks, today I made a couple of lists. I thought we might let me go through. I just thought I might go through a bunch of good shrubs. So this is shrubs. I've left out trees for the for this conversation that I would call refuge and shelter shrubs. Hello, people coming in, jumping in on YouTube. Good morning. Um, I might explain in case any of you are Facebook refugees. The Facebook stream just shut itself down this morning, and I'm unable to re-add it. So who knows? Maybe I've been de-Facebooked. Facebook might have de-Facebooked me. But we'll chase all that up later on. Hmm. If you're new here, every Saturday morning on in Australian Eastern Standard Time from Wurundjeri country, the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri people in Melbourne, Australia, I sit down and talk about habitat gardening. And the whole purpose of doing the live stream is if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, anything you would like to say, you can just pop them in the chat box, and then we'll talk about them. So today we're talking about shelter shrubs, refuge shelter shrubs that that I've really wanted to make suitable for fairywrens, thornbills, scrub wrens, small honeyeaters, etc. The conditions in Kangaroo Island this morning, Stan tells us, 20 millimetres of rain. Well, that's pretty good, isn't it, mate? Uh, Super windy. Not been to the nurseries yet. Uh, Fixed your fence last Sunday. Excellent. So, um, what kind of a fence was it? Is it a wire fence? Is it a wooden fence? Give us some details. Okay. Oh, I might add too. I've now completed uh, my course that I was doing. Apart from one, I have to do a feed. I have to do a reflection and feedback uh, sheet exercise, which I'll get done over this weekend. So we'll get back into sort of daily, very regular bird emergency and other commentary from now on. But of course, always here Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Time, depending on the time of the year. 9:30 every Saturday morning, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane time. Okay, I'm just going to read through these genus by genus, and if you have a question or a comment, like Stan has filling us in that his fence is the old school zinc loom fence. Well, that's good for hiding behind and keeping out of the wind. Very, very functional and popular. How about I tell you 10 Grevilleas? And my one of my selection criteria is that they are or should be readily available either in your local nursery or your local large nursery, or you should be able to find them for mail order on the internet. So Grevilleas, we're going to start with the old school number one favourite Grevillea rosemarinifolia, the rosemary Grevillea. Dense, compact, and prickly. Dark green, prickly foliage. Red flowers, the red spider flower. Generally singly or maybe up to 2 or 3. And nectar, excellent for nectar birds, but today we're talking just about shelter. Grevillea lanigera, the woolly Grevillea. Much smaller, but ideal for birds that are often hopping along the ground. I've included Grevillea perinda royal mantle, usually used as a ground cover, but is ideal to ramble over obstacles. And when you do let it ramble over rocks and logs and sticks and stumps, anything that you have, it creates gaps, which again are ideal refuge places for small birds. Grevillea fire sprite, another cultivar, really floriferous, but it's has an upright habit and is prickly. Grevillea scarlet sprite, again, very prickly. Lots of flowers too on it, red flowers too. Mount Tamboretha, that is actually a form of Grevillea lanigera. It's a bit pricklier and is less grey, but you should be able to find the, depending on where you are in Victoria, that's probably going to be the one you're going to be offered most often. Grevillea Robin Gordon, Grevillea honey gem, taller than the Robin Gordon. It's a large shrub, but they have similar types of flowers. The honey gem, orangey yellow, Robin Gordon, red, and you'll also in very similar to the Robin Gordon. It will be the peaches and cream, Sandra Gordon. What else have we got? Superb. There's a whole lot of Grevilleas that look very similar and have a very similar function. It's really the colour of the flower and perhaps the amount of flowers that are the difference. Grevillea wimpara gem, quite spreading, dense and spreading, and Grevillea bonfire. Now, when I get around to doing the video that will go with this conversation, I'll throw pictures in. Until I replace the computer, I can't have different tabs open. I'm sorry, folks. causes or mayhem. Um, let's talk about 10 Hakeas. Uh, and all the way through, you can just ask questions if you would like to, um, and or make a comment. Now, the Hakeas that I've selected are either very dense in habitat or quite spiky. And where possible, I've tried to look for rapidity of growth as well. So you get value, um, albeit on an extended time frame, but that you do get value when you are purchasing your plants and popping them in your habitat garden. Hakea salicifolia, the willow leaf hakea. Fast growing, often used in commercial landscapes and streetscapes because it does grow fast. Hakeas sericea. I know we've talked about this before. Uh, very spiny, so don't plant it right next to a path, or certainly don't plant it next to where you will be getting out of your car and perhaps brushing into it. Some people can be sensitive to the prickle, to the prick that you get from the tip of the leaves. Um, not it's not grown because of its flowers, but it does flower, and the honeyeaters will find it, and beetles will find it. But it's grown for the foliage and the habit. Hakea lorena. Now there are small forms of Hakea lorena available. It's called the pincushion Hakea, red and white flowers. You've probably seen them around. They're the small forms are compact and dense, so birds love them. Hakea myrtoides, which means myrtle-like or reminiscent of a myrtle. It's a much smaller Hakea, again, compact and quite a dense form. So again, the birds like it. Do you get the theme? Anything that is quite dense and compact will generally provide some refuge for birds. But Hakea petiolaris, or the sea urchin Hakea, um, and quite a nice Hakea, a bit harder to find, but pretty common out there. Hakea nodosa, the yellow Hakea, differs from most of the others because it has a yellow flower. Hakea francisiana. Now, it's a large shrub and can can get quite tall, but if you prune this one, you get a double benefit, that you get a more compact habit, but it throws these large, spectacular flower spikes, red and white, mostly red flower spikes. Well worth the effort. Does like an elevated situation. So if you can mound it a little bit, or if you've got really free draining soil, it's an excellent one to consider. Hakea terretifolia, or terretifolia, spiny, dense and spiny, ideal refuge plant. A bit harder to find, but if you can get hold of Hakea terretifolia, that will be ideal. Oh, and I should mention, I've already just about produced the handout for this list. All I haven't done so far is added the nurseries where I can find them, like today. I'll do that later on, and I will have this available for people to download. And I'm going to put it on the Buy Me a Coffee page and on the Bird Emergency, but I will let you know exactly which link to go to for this. Where did we get to? Hakea multilineata, upright form, um, The flowers for Hakea multilineata are very nectivorous. Lots and lots of nectar. Birds go mental for it. Uh, and another large shrub, which is look, Hakeas are difficult because unless you get the really small ones, they tend to be a bit open, uh, but they respond really well to pruning. So, Hakea bucculenta or bucculenta um, is is well worth getting because it has fantastic flowers, um, brilliant red flowers, but it's one that I would be pruning regularly. Um, and that just makes me think if I'm going to recommend all of these, I think I will. I'm just wondering whether I'll make another handout or whether I'll put it on the webpage. I might put it on the. I might put the pruning and cultural guide on the Buy Me a Coffee page. That might be a good idea. That might be a good way to use that page, I think. Um, that might be a good way. I can put it on there for people who are um, buy me a coffee or coffeeers like Stan. Um, okay, 10 Banksias. 10 Banksias. Now, a lot of these you'll have heard me talk about before, but these are 10 that I consider good um, shelter plants. Banksia spinulosa. Sometimes you'll see Banksia collina. Uh, they are interchangeable. Okay. Banksia integrifolia. Look for the dwarf um, or prostate varieties. There are small forms of Banksia integrifolia. If you want a tree, get get the tree variety. Banksia ericifolia, again, there are compact and smaller selections. Many of the cultivars with that have been derived from Banksia ericifolia. Heathleaf Banksia is the common name. Things like not honey pots, birthday candles, and are crosses or cultivars, hybrids from them. Banksia marginata, the silver leaf Banksia or silver Banksia. Um, Banksia blechnifolia or blechnifolia is a ground cover, but the strategy that I've seen used really well for using it as a refuge plant is to train it up and over rocks and logs. Similar as how we mentioned with the Grevillea perinda mantle just before. Um, Grevillea, Banksia pelludosa, swamp Banksia, um, very dense. Banksia serrata, the old man Banksia. Uh, Again, often sold just as its unselected species, and they can be very large trees. But there are selected forms of Banksia serrata, which are either dwarfs or prostrate climbers, not climbers, ground covers. Again, you can use them to ramble over different obstacles to create spaces where birds can get shelter, habitat, feed. Uh, Banksia primorsa uh, responds well to pruning. I would recommend that you do prune it. Banksia occidentalis, uh, red flowers. Occidentalis is really nice. Its common name is the swamp Banksia, and as its name indicates, it's ideal for damper places. but equally is fine in a just a usual garden spot. Um, did I mention responds really well to pruning? Banksia praemosa. I'll just go back one step too. Uh, you will get you will get lots more flowers if you prune it. Um, I really have to do the cultural notes for that. Okay, I wanted to use some pea flower uh, because they're very common in the nurseries. So I've got a handful here of Devesia ulicifolia, or the gorse bitter pea. Now these are uh, pea flower shrubs. Uh, Devesia ulicifolia, generally yellow. You can see some that's into the orange, but spiny, prickly, spiny, ideal for little birds. Uh, Devesia latifolia is not a spiny Devesia. Has the typical orangey brown red egg and bacon flower. Uh, has quite broad leaves, a little bit like some of the wattles, uh, but it's a good compact, usually rounded shrub, quite dense. So it's really good uh, in an area where you want to plant it under some larger trees too. A great larger landscape plant, but also very good to fill like a corner. If you've got a tree and then you've got a corner to fill, Devesia latifolia is ideal. And remember that principle of layering. So it would be your small to medium shrub. Then you could put a large shrub like perhaps a Hakea lorena behind it, and then you could have a tree like perhaps a uh, Eucalyptus sideroxylon or something of that note behind it, and then you would have that nice layered and sheltered effect, and all of them providing food. Excellent. Devesia genistifolia, uh, a bit twiggy, but um, it's here because I really like the egg and bacon flowers. Devesia corymbosa, much more spreading, but again responds great to pruning. Spready but bushy. Uh, and Devesia mimosoides, which means like the mimosa. Very uh, handsome plant, uh, quite tall, but holds its foliage down to the base. Again, all of these respond to regular and pretty light pruning. Uh, let me go. I've mucked up my list a little bit. I want to go down to. I've got 20 tea trees here. That's a lot. Tea trees, Leptospermums. Um, I'm just gonna reel them off. If you want to ask about any, uh, I'm just gonna reel them off just for the sake of the uh, of of the video. But this is going to be a very good um, handout download to get hold of. Leptospermum scoparium, the manuka, or the tea tree that all the manuka honey comes from. Uh, Australian and New Zealand tea tree. Leptospermum continale, the prickly tea tree. Excellent uh, for southern Australia, particularly. One of the best if you can find it. Leptospermum continale. Leptospermum lavigatum, that's the coastal tea tree. Now, if you let the coastal tea tree go, it becomes big and can be open and leggy. but if you regularly prune it, it will form a very dense refuge plant for small birds. Leptospermum juniperinum does have a number of small forms, but the regular form, prickly tea tree, um, fine needly foliage. It's a great refuge plant. Refuge plant. You should be able to find that. Uh, Leptospermum podygalifolium. Uh, it's a really, really nice plant. I'm not sure uh, how available it is, but it's a beauty. Leptospermum myrtifolium, the myrtle leaf tea tree, very bushy, very hardy. Frost hardy is uh, is one of its main attributes. Leptospermum petersonii, the lemon scented tea tree, very common. Uh, can get leggy if you just never prune it, but if you do prune it regularly, it will reward you. It's a nice plant to have near a doorway or a window too, because of that lemon scented, the aromatic oils that are held in the leaves. Leptospermum flavescens, yellow tea tree, smaller, so good as a front line or rockery plant. Leptospermum squirosum, coastal shrub with stunning pink flowers. Leptospermum obovatum, ovally shaped leaves, fast growing is the main reason I've picked that. Again, all of these plants respond really well to pruning. Um, where are we up to here? Leptospermum liversigii, swamp tea tree. Uh, not You can buy the seeds, and you can buy these mail order from a lot of the um, nurseries that cater to revegetation sort of projects, but you won't often see it in a retail nursery. But if you have an area that can get uh, a bit damp at times, but you do want density, ideal for screening a fence, get a bunch of them. Uh, Leptospermum br- brevipes, brevipes. Uh, this is a really good plant to mass plant and clip hedging. Uh, Leptospermum morrisonii, um, really bright tea tree flowers is its main selling point. Leptospermum sericium has silvery, woolly, sort of sheeny foliage, but it's not sheeny like the next one. It's just called the silver tea tree. It's a lot like those some of those Calithamnus and Adenanthus with that grey, soft, soft appearance. It's a really handsome plant, I think, to have in your garden if you have space for it. 2 to 3 meters too is you can manage it. You can cut it back and manage it. Um, the shiny tea tree. This is where uh, Leptospermum natidum. Now it does have more glossy leaves. Um, it's a Tasmanian species, so frost hardy, um, uh, and handles a damper situation. A lot of the leptospermums will handle periodic inundation, like a once in a while flooding event. Where did we get to? Leptospermum macrocarpum. This one is Again, most of the tea trees are very similar. They're just shrubby, bushy. But the macrocarpum, large flowers, larger than normal tea tree flowers. Uh, Leptospermum rotundifolium, rounded leaves, again, very dense habit. Uh, Leptospermum junense, uh, juents. Uh, it's a smaller plant. You probably will only find that online. Leptospermum blakeleyi. Um, Again, only from specialist nurseries, usually by uh, finding it online. Um, Ideal East Coast small shrub. Leptospermum trinervium. Uh, its its main feature is its bark. Um, its habit is usually multi-stemmed, so it's spreading from the base. Uh, does does enjoy being pruned, but it has the bark is its feature, so it's the um, my suggestion would be to let it grow to perhaps knee high or waist high before you would begin pruning it. You want that um, trunk to be the or multi stems to be the features. Um, all right, I've got a bunch of melaleucas. Uh, Boy, I didn't realize I had so many. Uh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to miss the melaleucas. I'm going to go uh, to the acacias. I picked out 10 acacias that are ideal for coastal environments. Uh, Bear in mind that some of these acacias are so good in many situations that they have the possibility to be a an environmental weed. So please check with your local council, particularly Acacia longifolia, which is the first one, the Sydney golden wattle, and the next one, Acacia sephorae, which is the coastal wattle from, uh, well, certainly it's the coastal wattle in Victoria, South Australia, and sort of southeast New South Wales. Um, they have the potential to be weedy in some places. Acacia cyclops, the western coastal wattle, WA shrub, uh, is it has a very similar habit if you know the coast wattle and the way it can form thickets on the foreshores. Acacia cyclops, quite similar. Acacia litorea, which is much smaller, 1 to 2 meter, rather than in the 2 to 4 meter bracket. Acacia litorea, the shore wattle. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? 1 to 2 meters. Acacia terminalis, uh, the sunshine wattle, 2 to 6 meters is that one. Um, Acacia longifolia. No, we've done that one. Acacia retinoides, or the Warilda, um, a really adaptable coastal plant. Again, I would I would check your lists with your council. Um, can be really successful in some areas. I'm not aware of it being a listed environmental weed, but it does have some potential. This is always the downside of recommending plants that you know are going to be really good for shelter belts, and because a lot of them are great for shelter belts because they are hardy, fast growing, but they do have possible downsides. Um, Acacia truncata, Acacia myrtifolia, the myrtle wattle. That's an ideal one because that one I really like, the myrtle wattle. Acacia myrtifolia. And if you want something a bit mm, forming mounds, a bit of mound forming, um, is the Acacia truncata. I think I mentioned that. Last one on the list, Acacia uncifolia. Um, can be a bit larger, ideal for a drier situation. So, dry coastal shrubs. Um, now, I've got a bit of a mixed list here. So let's have a look at some of these other. I've got 3 correas on the list, but nearly all the correas will suffice. Correa reflexa, Correa glabra, and Correa alba. Correa alba is a superior coastal shrub. Stan, I think you've got Correa albas at Kangaroo Island. Just a couple of uh, Melaleuca timifolia, Westringia fruticosa, or the coastal rosemary. Um, Another Westringia, which is ideal in most gardens, is a cultivar called Winyabi Gem. You will see that in most nurseries. Mauve flowers. It's a little bit more open, a little bit softer in appearance than the standard Westringia fruticosa, but the Winyabi Gem is ideal too. Kunzia ambigua. You should be able to find that. It's an ideal screening plant, fast growing. Fabalium squamulosum. That's in the Rutaceae family, closely related to the Baronias. Looks a lot like a Melaleuca, not a Melaleuca, a tea tree, a Leptospermum. Fast growing, good value. You'll see it. You'll find it pretty much in the native plant section of any nursery, certainly in the lower half of Australia and indeed in Brisbane. Fabalium squamulosum. Um, uh, and you'll also find the Fabalium uh, myoporoides. I think that's what the Eriostemum's been renamed. So that's another ideal one to look for. Eriostemum myoporoides is the old name. You will sometimes see it still named that. And Bosseria spinosa can be quite a large shrub, but it's spiny, which is why it is ideal, and particularly ideal for birds to nest in because it is quite so spiny. One thing I did just notice is that I didn't put any flowering times on my list. I just pulled some of my favourites out from my books. I'll do some work on those and put the flowering times on them as well. I'll have to play around with that formatting a bit, but we'll get that going. Questions, answers. We've got to that time. Any comments, questions, answers? What have you been doing in your garden? Anything fun? Anything? Stan's been staying out of the rain. It's been very cold here, so I don't expect many people in Melbourne have been doing a lot of gardening in the last few days. And I've been studying, so I haven't got any personal stories to tell, other than in my street has been this beautiful old mature eucalyptus leucoxylon and it's a street tree. And of course, it was felled during the week. It's now gone. I cannot understand what the policy of the council here is. Taking out really valuable habitat plants and leaving rubbish plants in the. Um, and I think I'm going to have to go to the. I have written and left. Well, I have written through the portal, the council portal, a number of times asking about what is going on, and I have not had any responses. So I think I'll have to go and attend in person and get some answers, because it's another two gardens in the street too have been razed to the ground because the houses have been uh, either sold or demolished. One of them has been demolished, so we're going to get another um, fence to fence, front to back townhouse, no doubt, which offer no replacement habitat. So I just I just think that the people making the decisions are so disconnected from each other and just disconnected from the issue. So there's my thought. Um, and unless people have got a lot more to say, unless you've got something you want to share with me or a question that you would like to ask me, bearing in mind that I am a horticulturist and I can tell you some good answers if you've got some good questions. Just seeing if anyone's commented anything on the socials. Not seeing anything on the socials. I'm now getting so many notifications from Facebook, and they're they're either total junk or they're scam stuff. Like, there's a new a new Centrelink payment coming out, and these are just lies. Facebook, what's happening to you? All right, folks. Well, not seeing any questions or comments coming through. That may well be because the Facebook feed was discontinued. I'll try and I'm not gonna say which day I'm gonna have this up and done, but I'm gonna get onto it this afternoon, and then I will on the socials um, say where the list can be got, and I'm going to try and do this for every episode now. I'll probably go back through all of the episodes that we've done and create some kind of handy little cheat sheet or cultural notes for each of them, and I want to make a nice list of nurseries that have these plants available at the time of the recording, so that they're not outdated lists, and we'll try and keep them living. I know I get frustrated when I go and I look at some of these great resource sites, and then I'll have a look at the nurseries, and then you Google them and they went out of business 5 years ago or something. So, or that the location that they are listed at is now a suburb of houses. So yeah, we'll try and keep these things alive. Um, all right, folks. Well, happy wildlife gardening, habitat gardening this weekend. I hope the weather keeps you well, dry and warm. If you're in southern Australia, that might be a bit difficult. Long weekend, of course, in my part of the world. Um, So if you're looking for bird emergency or not just another podcast content, you will find some. Uh, you will find some. I'll be hopefully daily, I would say. Stan, thank you. A list would be good. Yeah. Um, now that I've got the study out of the way, I've only got one more task to get done. Uh, I can go back to my sort of regular times and um, yeah, part of the Saturday planning is to have a handout prepared and available. Um, and I really would be foolish just uh, to not put it on the Buy Me a Coffee website. So I think that's how it will be done. Um, I should let people know too, because it's not sort of designed for downloading stuff, or people who support on Buy Me a Coffee. I always let them know what is going on, whether they're doing a monthly thing or not, because I appreciate anyone who is supporting, and I understand that sometimes you can't support every month, or maybe you think that I've been useless this month. I understand that. That's fair enough. Uh, I think, but yeah, I just appreciate whoever's doing it. So I do generally send out updates when I've got something to say to everybody anyway, who has ever contributed in any way. I probably should work on that and make it a bit more regular, shouldn't I? Maybe I should stop trying to be on all the platforms and just stay on one or two. That might be good. Uh, um, okay, so Stan's got a short on Kangaroo Island TV on the YouTube. Is that right, Stan? If I go there now, what will I find Stan? Let's get to the YouTube. This is riveting. Uh, Come on, phone. Uh, and if I go Kangaroo Island TV. Oh, KI netball star. All right, shorts. Here we are, folks. This is oh, fixing up the back. Oh, look at that. I'm looking at it now, Stan. Oh, that gives me a good idea. Oh, so you've just fixed up oh, there we go. Snaps his fingers and the fence is fixed. Very good. Um, but you've got the corny music going on as well. All right. Well, I'm the first view of your short. I can even give you a thumbs up. Excellent. Except it's not. Oh, there we go. Finally. Oh, and you got a comment already. Let's see who's commented. No says you've got a comment, but then it says no comments. Okay. All right, folks. That's me looking at Stan's reels. Kangaroo Island TV on YouTube, and you can check out that reel for yourself. I haven't done a reel for a while. Must be time. All right, everyone. I'm Grant. I'm a horticulturist, also a bird nerd. This has been the regular Saturday morning live stream, Habitat Gardening. Look forward to some more bird emergency and not just another podcast content this week. And Stan says, that's it. Have a great week. Thank you, Stan. I will, as soon as I put it up, it come down. There we are. You too, mate. Hopefully, we'll spend a bit of screen time together. Have you got a holiday in South Australia this week, Stan? For Chucker's birthday? Hmm. I'd care a lot more about the monarch's birthday if it was actually on their birthday. Um, but no. The main thing for this weekend, I guess, in Melbourne, and if you're at all interested in football, is the fundraising for Fight MND, the Neil Danaher inspired fundraising for motor neurone disease. So I guess that's what I'll be paying attention to. Thanks, folks. See you later. Make sure you do subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be much appreciated. You can find that link, thebirdemergency.com/YouTube. We'll see if we can get Facebook up and running next week. See ya.